I leaned back in my leather chair, gazing out the office window at the bustling cityscape below. The phone felt heavy in my hand, my eyes glued to its screen. My men conducted business in the background, their voices a distant hum as I focused intently on the live feed from my new wife. Florence handed her the phone, and I watched as she clutched it, rushing to the bedroom. This moment was carefully orchestrated. I knew exactly what she would do when she had her phone back. As she unlocked it, a glimmer of hope lit up her eyes. She went straight to her contacts, pausing with her finger hovering over her brother's name, her face a portrait of desperation. I smirked, satisfaction swelling within me. My fingers tapped rhythmically on the desk as I savored her internal struggle, each second dragging out the tension. Just as she was about to press call, I rang her phone. The sudden ring startled her, and I watched the fleeting hope drain from her face as my name, saved as husband, appeared on the caller ID. I leaned forward, eyes narrowing as she flipped the phone face down on the bed, refusing to answer. Is she serious? Is this how she wants to play? All right, wife, let's do it. Let's see how far you can go. With that, I sent the video feed, my fingers dancing over the keyboard as I typed the message that would shatter her last vestiges of defiance. Her reaction was everything I expected and more. Her eyes widened in horror, darting around the room until they landed on the camera. I could almost feel her panic, her realization that she was constantly under my watchful eye. When she opened the video of me fucking her, her expression shifted to utter despair. I took a deep breath, savoring the moment. The office door swung open, and Tony, my right-hand man, walked in. Boss, we've got a situation with the shipment. Need your approval on how to handle it. I held up a finger, my eyes still fixed on the screen. One moment, Tony. I watched Ariana's trembling hands as she watched the video message. Her tears began to fall, and a twisted sense of triumph washed over me. It was the perfect reminder of who held the power in this relationship. Finally, I looked up at Tony, sliding my phone into my pocket. What's the problem? I asked, my voice brusque. Tony cleared his throat, shifting his weight uneasily. The Genovese Circle intercepted our latest shipment, he began, his voice laced with urgency. They've taken control of the docks and are demanding a hefty share of the cargo in exchange for releasing the rest. They're trying to make a statement, boss. What the hell is that supposed to mean? I barked, grabbing his shirt's collar and yanking him closer. I made sure those containers were perfectly detailed to avoid any attention, I snarled, my frustration barely contained. I released him abruptly, and he staggered backward. My hand clenched into a tight fist. Explain, I hissed, my eyes blazing. How did they get wind of it? Tony hesitated, his gaze dropping to the floor. Then he opened the pad he had in hand and showed me a video. The footage revealed our containers being inspected by men I recognized as part of the Genovese Circle. They were methodically searching every inch, their smug expressions making my blood boil. I cursed under my breath, my anger simmering just beneath the surface. If we don't deal with this swiftly, it could mean an all-out war, I growled. And if I don't show up at Lucian's house too for the dinner invitation, it means something else, I added. Why so sudden? Tony asked, frowning. That bastard already found out about my wife's return and her pregnancy, I replied, my voice laced with frustration. I still don't know how he discovered it, but if I don't show up, it sends another message entirely. Tony's frown deepened, concern etched on his face. So how do you plan to handle this? You can't be in two places at once. I paced the room, my mind racing with strategies and contingencies. I need to handle this delicately. I can't afford for Lucian to think I'm slipping or losing control. It's not just about the business anymore. It's about perception. Tony's eyes met mine, his expression resolute. Understood, boss. I'll make sure everything's in place for the meeting tonight. We can deal with the shipment issue. Call for the meeting right now and see how I'm going to handle it. Right away, Tony said as he moved to leave. Before you leave, I said, making him stop and turn to face me. I want eyes on Lucian. Find out how he got the information. If he's got someone in my camp, I want to know who it is. Tony nodded and turned to leave. I'll get it done, boss. As the door closed behind him, I took a moment to steady myself. The stakes were higher than ever, and I couldn't afford any mistakes. Lucian had always been a wild card. Unpredictable and dangerous. If he had somehow discovered Ariana's pregnancy, it meant he was watching me more closely than I'd realized. And if he finds out Ariana is just a splitting image of Skylar, it would be something I'm totally won't be ready for. I took out my phone and checked the security cameras around the house. The feed showed a sufficient number of men stationed at every entrance and corner. Satisfied with the security, I switched to the camera where I had last seen Ariana. But she wasn't there. Frowning, I cycled through the other cameras, searching every room, every hallway. She was nowhere to be seen. Frustration surged within me as I failed to locate her. I dialed Florence's number, my impatience mounting with each ring. When she answered, I snapped, "Where's my wife? I can't see her anywhere in the house." Florence hesitated before replying. "She just went out for some shopping." I furrowed my brows at the news. "What the fuck did you just say?" I asked through clenched teeth. "Who gave the orders for her to go?" Florence's voice was nervous. "She said you told her to go shopping for a dinner dress." I cut her off with a growl that reverberated through the office. "Who did she go with?" "She went with the house car and the driver," Florence replied, her voice barely above a whisper. I hung up, cursing in rage as I stormed out of the office and into my car. The engine roared to life as I sped into the busy city streets, weaving through traffic with ruthless determination. I passed cars in rapid succession, my mind focused solely on finding Ariana. Each honk and screech of brakes barely registered as I barreled down the road. I called the driver's phone, gripping the steering wheel tightly. When he answered, I ordered gravely, "Stop the damn car wherever you are and wait for me there." The driver's voice was shaky. "Yes, sir, right away." I could feel the adrenaline pumping through my veins as I continued to weave through traffic, each second feeling like an eternity. The cityscape rushed by, a chaotic blur of lights and buildings. My jaw clenched, my eyes narrowed with fury. Ariana, that fucking little bitch. As I raced down the street, I spotted their car parked on the side of the road. My heart skipped a beat when I noticed Lucian's car parked just across from theirs. A surge of anger and urgency propelled me to increase my speed until I screeched to a stop beside them. I rushed out and went straight to Ariana, yanking open the car door and pulling her out roughly. "Let go of me!" she shouted, trying to wrench her arm free from my grip. "Shut your mouth, bitch, before I make you," I growled, my voice low and dangerous. As I approached my still-running car, Lucian's car door swung open. He stepped out, with a smile plastered on his face. "Why the rush, brother? Is there a problem?" "None of your goddamn business," I snapped, trying to walk past him. Lucian stopped me by grabbing my arm. "Won't you let me say hello to my sister-in-law? It's been so long since I last saw her, and I couldn't wait until dinner. I've missed her, and always wondered how she's doing. When I finally saw her, I was surprised and concerned by how much she's changed." I clenched my jaw, trying to keep my composure. "Get your hand off me, Lucian," I hissed. "This is not the time." He ignored my warning, his eyes flicking to Ariana. "Sister-in-law, dear, you look so different. What's happened to you? I yanked my arm free and pushed Ariana into my car. Get in, I ordered her, then turned back to Lucian. Stay away from my wife, Lucian. This is your only warning. Lucian's smile widened as he raised his hands in mock surrender, his eyes locking onto Ariana in the car. Well, sister-in-law, the whole family and I can't wait to officially welcome you back.